Hello guys, in this video we'll connect and interact with MySQL database with Diesel ORM using Rust. We'll also use Diesel CLI and some of its amazing features. So let's get started. So first of all, move to your cargo toml file where we'll add couple of dependencies. Diesel as our ORM with version as latest and features as MySQL. And then we need .env to read environment variables with version as latest. And then we'll build our project. Now ensure your MySQL instance is up and running. If you already have MySQL in your machine, or you can spin up Docker container. I'll be using instance on my machine. So to make sure it's up and running, we'll just do mysql.server start, and there you go, it's up and running. So once MySQL is up and running on our machine, we'll install Diesel CLI. So we'll just use this command to install. For me, it's already installed, but you can use this command to install on your machine. Now move to the Project Explorer, where in the root of the project add a .env file. Here we'll add our database URL. So the connection string will set to MySQL root as the username and localhost as the instance, and db is testdb. But if you have any password, then you can place it here with colon, let's say admin123, but I don't have any password, so I'll just use this connection string. Now let's use Diesel CLI to automate some of our work. Make sure you set the connection URL before running all of these next commands. So first command we'll run is Diesel setup. This will add a migrations directory in our project and set up Diesel in our project. So there you can see in our project migrations directory is set up. Now let's create some SQL files here, which will also automate using Diesel CLI. So again, open your terminal, and here we'll just run Diesel migration generate create users. Now because I'll be using users model, so I'm naming it as create users, but again you can name your model accordingly. So there you go, inside the migrations there is a directory edit, and inside the directory there is up.sql and down.sql. So let's add our SQL queries. We'll move to up.sql, where we'll add our create table query. So we'll just use create table users and id as integer, primary key, auto increment, and then let's say we have a name which is varchar 255 and not null. Similarly, an email varchar 255 not null, as well as unique. Now these are all the columns that I need today, but if you have more columns then you can add accordingly. And then we'll move to our terminal and automate using Diesel our table creation. So we'll just do Diesel migration run, and if the command exit with success, meaning your table is created, and you can move to Project Explorer. Here you can see a schema.rs as well, which will represent the schema of your table. As you can see, an id as integer, a name as varchar with max length 255, and then we added an email. Now let's add our model. So we'll just add a model.rs and src, and here we'll add our model. So we'll just do pub struct user, pub id as i32, pub name as string, and pub email as string. On top of which we'll add a couple of attributes. So it should be queryable from Diesel and debug. And next is a new user model. So we'll just add pub struct new user, and here we'll add pub name str and pub email again as str. And on top of this we'll just add derive insertable and Diesel, and here we'll just add table name. So table name as users. So we have our model and our DB is ready. Now let's add our DB service to interact with our MySQL database. So db.rs, and here we'll add pub struct DB service connection as MySQL connection, and then we'll impl db service. So first of all, we'll try to connect and then add bunch of queries. So fnu, but this ORM is pretty amazing, so we don't need to write any SQL. It will just generate everything for us. So .env, okay, let db url, and we read it from our environment variable, which we set in this file. So if that's not the case, then we say database URL must be set. And we'll just do let connection, MySQL connection, establish, and we'll pass our db URL dot unwrap. So let's return db service with this connection. So this is all we need to connect to our db, and now we will just add bunch of functions to query our db. So first of all, create user and mutable self and new user. So here we'll just do diesel insert into schema users table, values as new user, and then execute using the connection, and then expect. So fail to create new user. Similarly, we'll add list users and mutable self, and this one returns a vector of user. So we will just add here load query. So schema user table load, and we can add here user and mutable self connection dot expect fail to load users. Now these are two queries that I'll add, but you can explore this on your side, and if you have any problems, feel free to leave in the comments. I'll be happy to help. This has support for delete, update, joins, limit, group by, order by, you can name it. So now let's start using it. So we move to main.rs. So let's interact with our database. So we'll just say let mutable service db service new, and let user new user. So name as, let's say, Jack, and email as, let's say, jack@semicolon.com, and then we'll just call create user. So service dot create user, and we'll pass our user. Similarly, we'll load our users. So we'll just do print, and let's do service dot list users. Now let's run it and let's test our application. So open your terminal, and here we'll just do cargo run quite. There you go. As you can see, our user is inserted. Now let's go ahead and insert another user. So we'll move all the way down, or let's try to insert and see if the unique thing that we added also works as well. So move to terminal and we run again. There you go. As you can see, it says it's a violation because you are entering a duplicate. Let's change it to jack@gmail.com, and let's change it to, I don't know, David. And there you go. As you can see, we have Jack and we have David as well. So that's how we can use Diesel ORM